All right, got some real bad news for everybody. Just to give you guys some contrast, here's an example. Hopefully I chose a good timestamp. Here's an example of what my build looked like. I'll mute it right now. This is an example of what my build looked like a couple hours ago. This is not actually a suboptimal, or this is not actually an optimal example, but I wasn't perfectly set up here. Anyway, many builds as of a couple hours ago were utilizing some form of cast on crit, cast on freeze, cast on ignite, and they were using that as their primary engine for their build. And that's just what they were doing. You know, they were using something like Frostbolt, Eye of Winter, anything. You can use Solar Orb or Flame Wall, ideally Flame Wall or Incinerate for cast on ignite. And they were using that as their engine for having a build that spawns a lot of something that does high damage. So you can do something like this and you drop many meteors. I was able to dump probably like 20 meteors in 10 seconds pretty easily with this build, which GGG did not like. They didn't like it. That's the build. Now, with that said, I don't think the build was overpowered at all. At least my version of the build, or like the cast on freeze stuff. I don't think that was OP. It just felt good, but it didn't feel broken at all. But my frame of reference is also Path of Exile 1. So take that all with a grain of salt. There's a different expectation in Path of Exile 2, clearly, for what they expect. And I'll show you what we're looking with right now, what we're packing. So there was a real big nerf. This is the build without any changes. I don't have to do much to demonstrate. Hold on. We're waiting. And also look down here. Look at this one. So this used to, on a single pack of monsters, that number would go up to 6. I do not have a single, I killed that pack of monsters, don't have a single charge yet. So that's my Elemental Invocation, and you can see my charge actually right there. You can see the charges go up. That's my cast on freeze. I finally triggered, after 2 packs of monsters, a cast on freeze. And you can watch it go up. So anyway, what they did is GGG just released a patch. I'll link the patch below, I guess. And they added all the stuff that they said they would add. They snuck in reworking how you calculate energy for your cast on ignite meta skills. So we have these skills here: cast on freeze, cast on ignite, cast on shock, elemental invocation, where when you do something like shock, crit, freeze, whatever, it'll get energy based on the cast time of that skill. And then when it gets enough energy, it will trigger. So just like cast on crit worked in PoE 1, with an additional step in the middle where you have to do it X number of times to then trigger. And GGG clearly thought that it was too strong and people were using it as their primary damage instead of, I don't know what they're expecting. I don't know if they want like additional utility or something. So the rework, what it did is, and I'll put that on the screen right now. What the rework did is it changed it so the energy gained is from the rarity of the monster. Basically, the intent is that you don't have the ability to, I only have 3 charges right now. I don't even have 6 charges yet, which is crazy. I guess I don't have the setup right now. Am I missing it? No, I should be getting 6 charges. I still have that. Wow. Maybe they nerfed something else there. Okay, that's new to me. That used to go to 6 with this setup of the build. But anyway, that was the idea, is I could cast Elemental Invocation. Anyway, I guess I'll just, okay. I don't know what to feel. I had Jung Roan's stream open a few minutes ago. This is like his 3rd build in a row. He's good at finding those crazy interactions, right? But this is his 3rd build in a row now that he's had nerfed, out from under him. And this tech, to me, maybe there were abuse cases, I don't know, but for what I felt like was the intended use, it felt very balanced, particularly when I open up a Deadeye stream and I see people running at the speed of the wind. Literally, they got a tailwind on their butts, and they're blowing up the entire screen like it's PoE 1. And then we have all these sorcerers at like playing mid-level builds that are just like fine and feel pretty like, to me, feels balanced for the investment and the effort put into it. Going half or a third the speed of this tailwind builds. And these are the ones getting nerfed, and I don't want to just sit here and complain, but I mean, I've spent the past few days, my plan tonight was to record a video and showing you guys the changes I made. I did some really cool stuff. A lot of tech that other people have been doing that, I was a little slow to come to, but like Grim Feast, really, really cool. I shared with you guys the Blink tech yesterday with the video. A cool thing that I was doing that I thought was really cool, I don't know if other people are doing this, is I am using Solar Orb here Granted, all this tech doesn't matter anymore, but I was using Solar Orb here with Elemental Discharge to eat the freeze. So I was able to freeze the monster and then eat the freeze and refreeze the monster, and that would allow me to just keep freezing it and triggering more comets. And I was able to also use this as additional utility for a blind. It was really nice. I thought I was pretty proud of that little tech that I came up with, at least, on my own here. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. I get it. It's early access. They're going to change things. But looking at least what I see and what's out there, this didn't feel like something that was like an abuse case that you nerf. But in early access, they want to set the expectations for what they want this new game to be. And clearly, the way that people were playing it, they did not like that. However, now I don't know what to do. I was watching Jungroan for like 10 minutes a little bit ago, and he threw like 10 different things at the wall, and none of it stuck. It looked really bad. He's trying stuff, and me here, I don't have any ideas at the moment. I can go pure fire, pure lightning, something. Like, clearly the trigger stuff is off the table. It looks like it's just dead in the water. Maybe you can use it for a little utility, but the problem is these are very, very expensive, right? These are 60 spirit each. And for something that is triggering so rarely, I am never going to spend 60 spirit on that. Like, if I can't, that needs to be like 10, maybe 20 spirit if it's going to be this week. So, that's just off the table for me. Like, and that's, that was the core of my build, was using two of these reservation gems. So my plan moving forward is, I don't know. And I think a lot of you guys are going to be in that situation as well. And this is where I kind of feel weird about it, is particularly for new players or for people that, I think new players, they're just having fun right now, right? That's fine. But I think, mid-tier players or people that are just like looking for cool builds to try right now, with the pace of the game and the resources we have access to respec and change things, it is very, very expensive right now. I actually firmly believe that they should offer a full respec when they do these, like that type of patch. I need a full respec. You want to see how expensive this is?
Speak.
Refund passives. Granted, I'm not going to change anything on this class, but maybe I will. Maybe I want to go into this. This alone, if I want to unspec this and unspec this to grab like Hourglass and Time Snap, which might be a thing I would do for a different flavor build, that's going to cost me over 100,000 gold just to change those sets of points. And if I want to go to, each one of these is 5,600. If I want to change from all this cold, and normally I wouldn't, like, it's okay. I understand if I want to change because I'm fickle, that's fine. But if the game is saying, hey, your build that you put all this effort into is now dead, this is hours of gold. And at least for at the level that I'm at, I'm farming like tier 7, tier 8 maps right now. I would say that's like, I have 700,000 gold, right? Like, I don't really spend my gold. I'm like hoarding it, but because I was kind of afraid of things like this. That's why I'm holding on to my gold. That's expensive, right? We're probably looking at 100 to 150,000 gold if I'm looking at, maybe even 200,000 if I'm looking at a pretty big respec. And that I only have these funds because I'm not using my gold, because I'm afraid of having to do this. I think if they're doing that and you are, I don't know, they should just say free respec. Free respec every time they do a patch like this. I think that would give them a lot of social cachet, or social equity in the situation of people that, we don't have that much time. Like, I'm playing this game more than the average player, I want to say. And even for me, that's like, it's a real kick in the balls. I'm trying to, I'm usually trying to be like the optimistic, whatever guy. What they've been doing with these patches right now, I think they need to, my advice now is really rethink this approach, because this is how you're going to, I guess you got the money. Everyone bought their pre-orders. But this is how the players that are just trying to like push and experiment, I hate to say not respecting the time, but not respecting the effort that it takes. And if anything, like if you want us to beta test and try build tech and experiment and stuff, throw us a bone as well. Because, if we're beta testing and you're going to nerf it, throw us a bone so we can kind of, have a dialogue there. Instead of just like, oh yeah, you're going to grind for 20 hours, put a build together, and we're going to nerf it the next day, going to grind another 20 hours, find your next build. Honestly, what I'm feeling right now is like, when are all the nerfs going to stop? Do I just wait? I can't do that because this is my job. But if I were a regular player, now I'm just not encouraged to play. If I was at this level, a regular player that's kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, I'd just be like, all right, I'll be back in a month or two. I'm going to go play Marvel Rivals or something. and I'll be back when these nerfs are done. And that's, you know, fine, early access. I get it. If you're playing a cast on anything meta gem, be ready to respec, because your build is dead. Your build is just straight up dead. And I genuinely don't know what their expected use case is for these meta gems. Anyway, that's it. You know, longer rant than I was expecting, but here we are. Enjoy the early access. See you guys later. Bye.